What's up guys? Today I'm going to be doing a drugstore makeup tutorial. I know a lot of you love when I do drugstore stuff, so this one's for you. And we're doing a super festive St. Patty's Day makeup tutorial. I know we're gonna be getting pinched with this makeup on. You know me, I always wear like black, white, nude, gray, like very neutral colors. So I don't have a lot of green in my life, so this is gonna be my green. Well, I do have my camo jacket, but like that's kind of beside the point. Hopefully you guys are excited to see how I created this look using all affordable products, and let's get into the video. Starting off with face primer, I'm gonna try out this Physicians Formula Insta Ready face primer. Haven't used it yet, but we gonna try it out. And I like to focus the primer mostly in the areas that I need it most. So for me, that's more so like the middle of the face and then moving down to the chin area. Now moving to foundation, I actually mixed together two drugstore foundations. So I used the L'Oreal True Match in W4 and then also the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte in 107. And I'm just gonna be buffing that in, kind of pressing that in with my Real Techniques Beauty Sponge. I think this is probably the best dupe for a beauty blender as far as like drugstore dupes go. For primer, I'm using the Catrice Prime and Fine Brightening Eyeshadow Base. Buffing that into my eyelids with my finger. Then we're gonna dig into the e.l.f. Shadow, Brow, and Liner palette. And I really like this palette for neutrals, and they're all mattes too, which is nice. So I'm gonna take this shade over here and set down that eyeshadow base. The only thing is that this palette doesn't have shade names, so I'm sorry guys, I'm just gonna have to kind of like point to the shades that I'm using. Now for our first transitional shade, I'm gonna take this guy over here. It's like the third shade from the left when you're looking at it. And I'm just going to kind of lightly sweep that through the crease. Okay, it's about to get quicey. So I am going to be using the NYX Ultimate Brights eyeshadow palette. I'm so excited to use this. I haven't used it yet, but just look at it. So today, obviously St. Patty's Day, we're going to be sticking with like the more greener shades. I don't know if that was like the correct way to pronounce or the correct way to word that, but you know what I meant. So I'm actually gonna use this as our kind of like upper crease shade. Who's excited? So I'm taking that on a fluffy blending brush and angling the brush upwards so we get a more diffused eyeshadow placement. And I'm going to keep kind of going back and forth between the matte shade in this palette and then that green shade so that we get a really nice dimension of shades into the crease. Then taking that darker green right next to it, I'm going to pat that into the outer base of the lid. Whew. That pigment. Then of course blending that in. And I'm going to pat the lighter green into the inner corner. Then with that darker green, I'm going back in and almost detailing that inner corner just to define the crease a little bit more. So I'm dragging the shade all the way to the inner tear duct. And yep, you guessed it. Blending that out. Then for that very inner corner, I actually want to dig into this Pixie times It's Judy Time palette and take this gold right here and just apply that to the very inside, almost like an ombre effect, almost looking like a pot of gold. Alrighty, once you've sat there and blended for about like 20 minutes straight, you are done with the eyes. We're gonna move back to the face for now. So I'm taking this concealer from Physicians Formula. It's the Insta Ready Full Coverage Concealer in the shade Medium. And I'm gonna apply that underneath the eyes as well as on any blemishes. And then blend that into my Little Heart's Desire with my same Real Techniques sponge. And I'm gonna add some contour to the nose with the LA Girl Pro Conceal in the shade Toast. Then continue to blend all of that together and slim down the nose. I'm going to try out this NYC Smooth Skin Loose Face Powder. I never tried it before, but after that other fiasco, a lot of you guys recommended this one to me, so we're going to try it out for the first time today. And again, kind of doing the same technique of a light bake, sort of just setting the powder and pressing it into the skin as best as possible. Okay, NYC, we see you. I really like that so far. I mean, obviously I just applied it and I don't know if it has flashback yet, but overall, like just on initial application, it really did like smooth out my skin and give me a nice little base. So next we're gonna move to contouring. Actually, let's finish off the eyes first. So we're gonna finish off the eyes by finishing off that bottom eyeshadow and then also adding on some lashes. For the bottom lash line, I'm not trying to keep this too close to the lash line. I'm really blending it out. So I'm taking that brown shade that we used at first, the one from the e.l.f. palette, and just blending that down. Then I'm going to take a bit of the darker green and start to connect the upper eyelid to the bottom. Then I'm going back in with the brown and blending it out even more to get a nice diffused look. Then I'm going to add on a coat of the Maybelline Big Shot Mascara. Oh, then move to lashes. So I'm going to use these ones from Ardell. These are the Faux Mink collection and it's the style 811. Honestly, they're such a beautiful pair of lashes from the drugstore, but I do like to like sit them up a little bit. So then I go in with a black pencil liner just to like really tight line and make sure that we don't see our natural lash line underneath. Then I'm going to go in with this Pixie Endless Silky Eye Pen in the shade Opal Overcoat. You just want to use something metallic. Actually, a gold would be better, but I don't even have a gold from the drugstore, so I'm gonna go with this one. And of course, adding some mascara to that bottom lash line. Now for contour, I'm gonna be using this palette from Wet n Wild. This is the contour palette in the shade Dolce de Leche. And this one's super pigmented, so you can really use a light touch on it, but it has a really nice cool undertone to it, so I really like it. And for bronzer, I feel like you already know though, Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I feel like this is just like, this is to be expected at this point because I love this bronzer so much. I seriously consider it one of my holy grail ride or die products, whether it's like drugstore, high end, this is a bomb bronzer. For blush, I'm also going to be using an old favorite actually. So this is Milani Luminoso Baked Blush. And I just want to keep it really light-handed on the blush today because obviously we already have a lot going on with the eyes. We're not even done yet. And I went a little hams on the bronzer. Oh, I love this blush so much. Now for my highlight, we're gonna switch it up a little and I'm gonna actually be using this BH Cosmetics Backlight Highlight Color Palette. It is really cool because it's sort of going along with that trend of like, I don't know, holographic highlighters or like iridescent highlighters. That's more the word. But it's so affordable. That's why I love BH. But I'm gonna take the shade Laser because it has a slightly green hint to it. And I'm gonna apply that to the tops of the cheekbones. Oh, okay, BH, we see you. Okay, I'm living for that highlighter right there. I'm also gonna apply this to the inner corner. Then for the Cupid's bow and the nose, I think I'm gonna go in with Strobe. Then I'm gonna balance the look out by finishing off with the Wet n Wild lipstick in the shade Pink Sugar. You really wanna go with a nude for this, and you definitely want to go with a nude that has more of a peachy undertone rather than a pink undertone because it's just gonna complement the look a lot more. And last step, I'm just gonna set that in place with this Milani Make It Last Setting Spray. So this is our finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed and got something out of it. Hopefully you can use it so you don't get pinched because I'm gonna come and pinch you. Just kidding. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Remember, you are beautiful inside and out. I love you guys so, so much. Have a wonderful holiday. Stay safe, have fun, do it up big, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.